Hello, welcome to the Price Academy, bite-sized history videos. This video is introducing Margaret Pole. Margaret was the eldest daughter of the Duke of Clarence, who was the brother of Edward IV and Richard III. Her mother was Isabel Neville, sister to Anne Neville. When Margaret was 4 years old, her father was killed in the Tower of London, where he had been imprisoned for rebelling against his brother Edward. It is rumoured he drowned in Malmsey wine. For a time, she and her younger brother Edward were in the care of their maternal aunt, Anne Neville, who married their paternal uncle, Richard of Gloucester. A bill disinherited Margaret and Edward and removed them from the line of succession. Richard III became king in 1483 and reinforced their exclusion from the line of succession. Margaret's aunt, Anne Neville, became queen. Margaret was 12 when Henry VII defeated Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth and married Margaret's cousin, Elizabeth of York. Henry took the decision to imprison Edward Plantagenet as he was a potential threat to his kingship. In 1487, an impostor, Lambert Simnel, pretended to be her brother Edward and was used to try and gather a rebellion against Henry VII. Edward was briefly brought out of the Tower and displayed to the public. Henry decided to marry the 15-year-old Margaret to his half-cousin, Sir Richard Pole. The couple had 5 children between 1492 to 1504. They had 4 sons and 1 daughter. In 1499, Edward apparently tried to escape from the Tower of London to take part in the plot of Perkin Warbeck, who claimed to be their cousin Richard. Henry had both Perkin and Edward executed. Richard Pole was appointed to the household of Arthur, who was the eldest son of Henry VII. When Arthur married Catherine of Aragon, Margaret became lady-in-waiting to the princess, but when Arthur died in 1502, she lost that position. Margaret's husband died in 1504, leaving her in a bad financial situation. To help, she gave one of her sons, Reginald, to the church. In 1509, Henry VIII came to the throne and married his brother's widow, Catherine of Aragon. Margaret was restored to a position as lady-in-waiting. Margaret had her lands restored by Henry that had been taken away by Henry VII, and she was also re-given her title, the Countess of Salisbury. She was only one of 2 women to hold peerage in her own right in the 16th century. When Catherine gave birth to a daughter Mary, Margaret was asked to be the godmother and later her governess. Margaret's fate began to decline with her son Reginald's involvement in Henry's attempt to divorce Catherine. Reginald was offered several high offices in the church if he would support Henry's divorce from Catherine, but Reginald refused and left to Europe in 1532. Pope Paul II made Reginald Archbishop of Canterbury in 1537. He asked him to try and organise efforts to replace Henry VIII with a Roman Catholic government, now he had split with Rome. Henry VIII had Margaret's sons Geoffrey Pole and Henry Pole arrested as they were writing to Reginald. They were charged with treason and Henry Pole was executed and Geoffrey was pardoned. Margaret's house was searched to find evidence to back the execution. A tunic supposedly marked with the wounds of Christ was found and used to arrest her. 2 years imprisoned in the Tower, she was executed on the 27th of May 1541. Stories say she refused to lay her head on the block and guards had to force her to kneel. The axe hit her shoulders instead of her neck and she escaped the guards and ran around screaming as she was chased. It took many blows to kill her. In 1886, Pope Leo XIII had Margaret Pole beatified as a martyr. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like it and subscribe to the channel or follow me at Twitter or at Facebook at TanyaAlex38.